Hey everyone, and welcome to another IDAF Events podcast. Today we're talking about the second annual Black Bear Half Marathon presented by Hunter Subaru and the new addition to the race, the Black Bear 8K powered by Optimum. The races take place on Saturday, October 9th in Hendersonville, North Carolina. They both start and finish at Jackson Park and run through the city of Hendersonville and then onto the Okawaha Greenway. Daphne, I am so excited about this event. It was one of my favorites last year, even in the pouring rain. So hopeful for great weather this year, but I am very excited about this one.
I know, Allison, me too. I've been looking forward to it ever since last year because I think we need a redo just because it was such a washout, but people embraced the rain last year. They were jumping through puddles. They had smiles on their faces. We started this race during the pandemic intentionally because it was a good one to do wave and rolling starts at, and people loved it. And so we've kept it and added a new race this year. So that's awesome. And also we added the Appalachian Trilogy. So that was 3 half marathons that we produced this year. And folks, we get a medal if they did all 3. So it's the last race in the trilogy.
Yeah. It is a great race. And I remember people being so excited to race again last year because it was one of the first distance races that we were able to put back on. So it's so great and we're just so thrilled. But let's dive right in if you're ready.
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay, so what time did the races start?
The races start, let me start with this. When we first opened up registration for this race, we had no idea what the world would be operating like as far as the pandemic. So we started it like we had it set up the year before with a bunch of wave start times. Now we don't need to do that. Event gathering restrictions have totally been lifted. And so 8 a.m. is the start of the 8K and the half marathon. If half marathoners want to take up until 8:30 to start, they are more than welcome to do that. But 8K folks all need to start at 8. And then half marathoners have to all be through the start line by 8:30. So if they don't want to be in that mass start in the beginning, they can hold back or show up a little bit later. But we have an 8 to 8:30 window for the half, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that makes total sense. Okay. So, I'm sorry, we're gonna have to cut that out. I totally lost my.
No, you're good.
I scrolled and I was like in the third page. Like, wait a minute.
You're reading ahead.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So what time do I start? Okay. Okay. So, thank you. Wait a minute. Where are we? Well, it's nice to bring this race back to the running community in Hendersonville, and we're so excited. What made us add the shorter distance? It'll be fun to have 2 races instead of just 1 this year.
Yeah, well, we had some folks ask us to consider adding a shorter distance event so that people could still participate, run on the beautiful Greenway in the fall, but not have to do the half marathon distance because not everybody's cut out for that. And there's just only a handful, or less of 8K races in our community in Western North Carolina. So it makes it a unique distance, something a little out of the norm and special. And then we also were contacted by Morris Broadband, who's powered by Optimum. And they reached out and they heard about the new 8K race and they really wanted to be a part of that event because they heard how fast it was going to be. And, they're all in it for speed. They're in for fast internet. And so they're offering some cash prizes for our winners in the 8K, the male and female overall. And then we have some cash prizes for, I believe it's 5 top 5, not top 5, but just 5 random winners in the 8K as well.
Well, so you don't have to win overall to win money for the 8K.
No, nope. You just have to show up and run your personal fastest time, whatever that is for you. We're not even going to check that. So basically, we're going to draw names out of the hat after the race at the award ceremony for the 8K. And so you just show up and run your hearts out, and you have a chance to win some money.
That's awesome. Well, then that means 8K runners, you need to stick around for the award ceremony to see if you won your prize, because even if you didn't win, there's a good chance that you could win some extra money.
Yeah. And you do have to be present at the award ceremony to win the money. I will add that as a disclaimer. We're going to do the 8K ceremony around 10 a.m. And,
okay.
You know, give or take a little bit depending on everybody finishing, but they do need to be present to win that cash there.
Okay. And how much are they getting?
It's $100 for the male and female winners each. And then the 5 that we pick, they each get $50.
Awesome. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. So one thing that I personally love about this race is the swag. I love the awards, the medals, the shirt. I love the bear. And I'm not just partial to it because I designed it, but
oh, come on.
The black bear medal was my favorite in 2020.
Mm-hmm.
I think that was my favorite medal that we did.
Yeah.
So anyways, I love this race and the swag that we were able to put out for it. Daphne's got on the new Black Bear 8K shirt. Mm-hmm. I've got on last year's half shirt, and it's the coziest shirt. But the finisher medal is great. And then we're giving out prizes this year again by Amy Kokenauer, who is a local artist runner. She does a lot of our events, and they are colored pencil prints as prizes, and they're black bears, right? Is that?
They are.
Okay.
Yep. Black bear from awesome. The Nature Center that she was inspired by, the WNC.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Okay. So is Amy, did you mention the other day that Amy's going to be at our event?
She is going to come. She's going to sign people's prints at the race, which is so cool. So she'll be there signing those for all the winners overall and age group who get them. And then we also have some Fleet Feet gift certificates to overall Masters folks as well that can be used in the Asheville store. So lots of fun goodies and prizes and swag, like you said, is awesome.
Awesome. So just to clarify, the 8K people will get the blue shirt that Daphne has on in this video. And then the half marathon folks will get a long sleeve tee that is like an ash color. And it's the big print is on the back of it. Yeah. So we did something a little bit different this year, and I think it turned out great.
Yeah. And we do have, I know it is a fan favorite. So I did order extras when we placed our shirt order. So, people can order those online until the sizes run out. So I would suggest, if you have a friend who hasn't registered yet, get them to sign up so that they can order one of the shirts, because they're worth it. It'll be a favorite.
I think so too. Yeah. Okay, let's talk about race day and all that it entails. Okay. And last year was a drive-through packet pickup because of COVID and event restrictions and all of that. So is that happening again? What's the deal with packet pickup?
Yeah, well, it's a little different. So we are going to do a pre-event packet pickup on Friday, October 8th, and that's from noon to 2. That's at Hunter Subaru. That's over by the airport, and that's at their new location. So we'll be there for a couple hours. We highly suggest you come to that if you have not gotten your stuff shipped to you, if you didn't opt in for the shipping option. Although we did have 125 that did already opt in and have their stuff shipped. That stuff's in the mail.
That's awesome.
I know.
Thank you for doing that, people.
Yeah. Well, it just makes it easier on everyone, So yeah. And if you did get your stuff shipped to you, we will have a goodie bag for you from Hunter Subaru available. You can get that before or after you race on Saturday. So don't feel like you have to come Friday to the pack and pick up to get your goodie bag. We'll have plenty of them. Just come on Saturday. And we can get you that. So if you can't make it on Friday, if you haven't gotten your stuff shipped, you can pick up your things between 7 and 8 o'clock at the park where the start and finish area is at. So if you get there a few minutes late, if you're not going to start the half till 8:30, you can pop in right before you start, but we'd like to sort of, end things around 8 o'clock for packet pickup on Saturday. So that's at the park in Jackson Park.
Yeah. Okay. And that's kind of our backup emergency pickup. Don't necessarily try to make it to the packet pickup. It'll make it a lot easier and a lot smoother race morning for you too.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So I think we're changing the layout a little bit from last year.
Yeah.
Where do people park and where could they pick up said packet or anything else?
Yep. So there are a plethora of places to park at the park. So when
it's going to be dark.
It'll be dark. We'll have volunteers directing folks, but there's actually 2 different sides that people can come into the park. There's Glover Street, and then there's another entrance over by Mountain Community School. And there's parking lots really on both directions, but there's really not a bad place to park there. Everything is very close to the start finish. The start finish is going to be more in the middle of the park this time. And shelter 4, which is right in the middle by the basketball courts and volleyball area, that is where the main packet pickup area is going to be this time. So once you come in, you'll be directed to parking, but really there's free reign for parking. It's first come, first serve. Okay,
great. And then can you tell us a little bit more about the courses starting with the half marathon?
Yeah, so the half, the only difference with the half is really where the start line is at, and the finish has changed slightly. It's in the same vicinity, but we're starting really in the center of the park now together at the finish. So they're not 2 separate locations, which will be really nice. And it still has the same 400 feet of elevation gain, which is not much for Western North Carolina for 13 miles. There is a hill on the Greenway though. So there is a hill out there. It's short and brief, but yes, it will get you twice because you will have to go up twice due to the 2-lap nature of the half marathon course. So you can, say nice things about me under your breath as you're running up that. And let's see, it's going to be scenic. I mean, I've heard this is going to be peak leaf weekend. Hopefully they're right for this year. So I've already started noticing that colors are changing on the trees. And so it should be
a little bit, they are
gorgeous. We're going to run. Go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say, as a runner here in the mountains, that I sometimes hate those stinker hills, but I really love the downhill. And so you mountain runners, remember that 400 feet of elevation gain means a flat course that your legs have got to power the whole way through. And don't think that makes it easy, because I think that's one thing that I overlook when I'm looking at elevation charts.
Yeah, that's totally true. Yeah, so it's scenic. It's it starts in Jackson Park, finishes in Jackson Park. We run through 7th Avenue district, the historic district of Hendersonville. We run by the train depot. They're supposed to be having a farmer's market that day as well. So, after the race, you can hop on over there by the train depot on Maple Street if you want to hit the farmer's market. We'll run right beside White Duck Taco on 7th Avenue, and then down that street, and you hit the Greenway, and that's where the bulk of the miles are at, on the Greenway. So it's 2 loops. It's spectator friendly. There's several different pull offs along the Greenway that folks could park and then walk down and get onto the Greenway to watch their friends and family. We had a bunch of people do that last year, even in the rain. And so it's, it's nice because you can actually see people a couple times on the route, since it's a double loop and an out and back. So
Awesome.
the 8K is going to be on the same route. They will turn around at the Kiosk. I call it a kiosk. I don't know if that's the proper name for it on the Greenway, but it's sort of the middle hub part. There's a big sign with a map, I believe, on it, and they have flowers. The Friends of the Ocklawaha Greenway really keep that area up nice, and it's sort of a triangle, and that's where the 8K folks will turn around. So they don't get to go to the Stinker Hill.
Oh, well, that's nice for them.
Yes, so they don't make it down that far. But one thing to know is that we'll have 400 to 500 people on the Greenway, and it is a Greenway. So stick to the right-hand side as you're running, and don't take up the whole lane, because people will be coming in both directions. So and just have fun with each other. I mean, you're going to see lots of people going both different directions and stuff, and wave and give high fives, and it's just going to be fun because you're going to get to see so many people out there, probably multiple times.
Yeah, and it will be a little bit more crowded than last year, just because we have more people running it, which will just add to the environment of it.
Oh,
I think it'll be so fun.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to make sure to bring my bike or something to get out on the Greenway this year. Last year I was huddled underneath the finish tent.
Yeah.
So,
that would be great. I also wanted to mention we will have 2 timing mats out on the course this year. Last year we had 1, just to be sure everybody completes the full courses. And so there will be 2 separate locations for that this year. And so we will check those. And so, always wear your watch as well. And if you have a GPS tracking on your watch, that's always good. So that if we do ever have questions about you and your course experience, in case one of the mats doesn't pick up your timing, you can show us your watch. So,
yeah. Sometimes technology works in everyone's favor. Okay. So is there a course time limit for these events?
Yes. So 3.5 hours is the time limit. That's basically when the course becomes unsupported. So at noon, it becomes unsupported. So if you start at 8:30, the half, just know by noon, there's not going to be people out on the course anymore supporting you. The course marshals will leave, the water station folks will leave, the police will leave. So if you think that you're in jeopardy to make the 3.5 hours, I would suggest you start at 8 o'clock. Please don't start before 8 o'clock. Anybody, please don't do that. We've had some folks trying to do that lately at races. And our police and our volunteers just are not ready for you if you do that. And it messes up our whole timing system. So wait till 8, or do to 8:30. But if you're worried about that time limit, go at 8.
Yeah. Okay. So we talked a little bit about how the course is spectator friendly.
Yeah.
Is there any specific spots that you would suggest, or
I think
we need to start thinking about costumes and signs?
I
know. Always fun.
Yeah. Well, last year we were in a whole different place because of the pandemic. And so we were trying to get people really not to gather at the start finish line. And wanted people to spread out. There's plenty of places at the park to see your runners too. So if you just want to get to the park and, walk up the hill that they're going to run down to the finish, that would be a good spot. Or stay around the start finish, that's fine too. But if you like to, be a part of all the action, I would suggest you look up the Ocklawaha Greenway on Google Maps and check out some of the different places that you can park and then go and see them out on the course.
Okay, cool. There's always fun spectator signs and costumes and things, and it's always an encouragement to see spectators out on the course as a runner, even if I don't know them. So
yeah.
Add to the energy, add to the environment, and come on out and have your family bring signs. Okay, so let's talk about that section that you mentioned earlier where you have to repeat the course. Can you explain that a little bit better?
Yeah, so last year folks did fairly well with this, except the people who had music on too loud. And we would try to flag them down and they wouldn't pay attention to us because they were jamming to their music, which I love music when I'm running. We talk about this all the time.
Yeah.
But in this race, you have to pay attention because there's a loop that you're doing. And so when you come back to 7th Avenue by the Fleet Feet water station, you're going to start your second loop again. You don't want to head back to the race hub if you haven't done two whole loops of the Greenway, because you're going to miss doing, 6+ miles basically. So yeah, just pay attention to signs. If you're going to listen to music, please turn it down and pay attention to the volunteers and what they're saying to you. I know people get focused, they get in the zone. But it's really up to you guys to know the course. We're there to help guide you, but if you're not paying attention, you don't listen to us, we can't tackle you and get you to do what we need you to do. So
I think it's important to definitely look at the course map and know it, know that where you've got to do the turnaround. You don't have to know every step of it, but definitely know those key turns and key points of the race, and it'll be helpful for you on race day, trigger your memory and say, oh, this is where we turn and we go back out, or whatever it is. So make sure you're paying attention to that. And we always mark the course so well. Mike and Daphne do an amazing job with that. But what colors and things should they be looking out for this?
Yeah, so the courses are going to be marked in pink for the half marathon.
Okay.
And for the 8K, they're marked in yellow. So a lot of the main, cup first mile or so is going to be pink and yellow because you're doing the same thing.
Right.
So, but you have to pay attention to where the yellow turns at the kiosk to come back. So and then we'll have some specialty signs too that will be more of a handmade, homemade sign that is going to tell you like, here's where the second lap is, so you have to pay attention to those.
Okay, good to know. And then I think we talked about, you would recommend people even visiting the Greenway before the race, wouldn't you?
Yeah, I think if you get a chance to go down there, with the map or download it on your Garmin device, if you can do that, or on your phone, and just sort of go through some of those areas just so you're familiar with it. If you have time, do it. If not, don't worry about it. I am going to do a little course update video. I think last year's is sort of outdated, so I'll work on that in the next few days to go on the event guide as well. So the other thing about the course is, the roads are open to traffic, to vehicular traffic. So please try to stick to the sidewalks wherever you can use those. That's only the section that's really taking you down into the park. So like the first 1.5 miles or so. And then, we'll have police helping you to cross if there's a place to cross, which there is on 7th Avenue to get to the Greenway. So just pay attention to them at that crossing and listen to their instructions.
Okay. And you mentioned the event guide. We're sending out course maps with that, right?
Yeah. So Ride with GPS will have links to both the maps with the elevation charts and turn-by-turn directions and all that.
Okay. And so you mentioned the roads won't be closed. Will the greenway?
No, the greenway is open to the public. It's not a super heavily congested or used greenway by the public,
Okay.
but there could be some people down there with bikes or rollerblades or walking or strolling along, especially if it's a nice day. Last year we didn't have that issue because it was pouring
It
rain,
was pouring.
and we don't want it to pour rain, so there might be more people down there. So just be courteous of them. Like, we want to keep having this event, and really, you know, the way to keep having it is for everybody to be courteous to the people who are on the greenway using it, so that we don't get complaints. So keep that in mind.
Okay. Well, good to know. And this is one of my favorite things to talk about. And it's always fun to catch up with runners post race. So, and hear what they had to think about the race, how they did, and everything. And we've thankfully been able to start adding some food options and some more fun post race activities for our athletes. And last year, I think we said grab a piece of pizza and head to your car because
Yeah.
we don't want you hanging out.
Yeah. Grab your donut and go.
Yeah. So what's in store for this year?
Yeah, it's going to look quite a bit different this year, especially weather permitting. We have quite a few really cool things in store. So Echo Mountain Inn has a new food truck called the Taste Buds. And they're going to have some coffee early in the morning. They'll have hot cider. They're going to have pressed juices. They'll have some other drinks, and then they're going to have really yummy food available for after the race. So definitely bring some cash. You don't want to miss out on their stuff. And we're really grateful that they're able to attend this event.
Yeah, we just hosted them or had them post race for the Asheville Off-Road series. And I can attest that the burger was delicious.
Oh yeah. The fries were amazing.
Oh yeah. So I heard that there's going to be donuts and beer, because that's really my love language there.
Yeah, the apple cider donuts are back from Jeter Mountain Farms, and we're really excited about those. We're so excited that on your race number, you have a tab that says donuts, so you can pull that off and get one free donut for yourself. We cannot have alcohol in the park. It's an alcohol-free park, unfortunately, but don't fret. You can still use your beer ticket that's on your race number and go over to the Ocklawaha Brewing Company. That's different than the place you went to last year. This spot's in downtown Hendersonville. It's really cool. They have outdoor seating. It's such a neat atmosphere right off of Main Street. So definitely take your free beer ticket there. You can take it Friday, you can take it Saturday, and you can take it Sunday.
This could be
this
could be a pre-race beer or a post-race beer, whichever you choose.
Exactly. So you got lots of options. So take that ticket down there, and they'll redeem that for you. They have some flagship beers that it's good for, so they'll let you know which ones it is. And then, so you still get your beer. You just got to go downtown for it, but that'll be really fun for people to do. So
sweet. And make sure to say hey to all your runner friends that you saw out on the greenway while you're there.
Yes. And if you go after the race, the requirement is that you wear the medal if you did the half marathon.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
That's a good requirement. You should always wear your medal for the whole day if you
I mean, of course, you deserve it. Hanging around your neck all day.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, so I know that's not our only vendors. I know we've got a slew of other people come in. So you want to list them out for us?
Yeah. So we have Asheville Personal Training, who is new this year. They are going to really do up a recovery zone for us, or for you, actually, for the runners. And so we just posted a video from Michelle on YouTube and our Facebook page, so you can check that out and meet her. But her and her team are going to be there with some things to help you start recovering as soon as you finish. We also, in that same zone, will have yoga and massage. They will be offering post-race massages. We will also have PT Solutions, which will do injury screenings. Hopefully nobody's injured before or after the race, but they will be there to check you out if you need it. We also have Humana, who will be there with some snacks, and Hendersonville Community Co-op will be there with some drinks and bananas and some other fruit probably, and some other snacks.
All awesome vendors. We're excited to have. I'm excited about the recovery zone. This is the first time we've done that, and I might have to get Michelle to let me put those boots on. They're gonna have the
I think you're gonna be
recovery
fighting
boots.
over them.
Yeah, I think probably.
That might be
All right. So I heard a rumor that there's also going to be an MC and a local bluegrass band.
Yes. Oh, I'm
Fun.
so tickled. So I guess the cat's out of the bag. I don't think we've officially announced it, but Dry Man Mountain Boys band, bluegrass band will be there at the race finish. And then we have Brian Bird B Squared is what he goes by. He's a local realtor in Hendersonville. He'll be there emceeing as well. And if you were at the Jump Off Rock half in 10K, you saw him at our finish line there. So he's coming back too.
Awesome. So we're going to have an award ceremony. We did say that earlier.
Yes.
But let's give the details on the timing and everything about that.
Okay. Yeah. So the 8K awards is going to take place around 10 a.m., give or take a little bit. The half marathon awards will be at approximately 11 or slightly thereafter. It's really just going to depend on, how many age group folks we have that have finished. And then we also have our Appalachian Trilogy medals that we'll give out to the half marathoners who have done all 3 halves that we produced this past year at the half marathon awards ceremony. So you definitely want to be there for that to get those medals.
Yeah. Have those come in yet, Daphne? They have? How good are they?
I haven't shown them off yet, but yeah, they're pretty amazing.
Okay. Well, I'm excited to see them, and you should be too. Okay. So let's talk about food, hydration, and all of that during the race. Yes. Last year we had people bring their own. What's the deal for this year?
Yeah, so we have 2 water stations on the course. Water station number 1 is 7th Avenue and the Greenway. And that one will be utilized by both the 8K and the half marathoners. The half marathoners can utilize it 3 times, and the 8K folks will utilize it twice if they want to. It's about 1.5 miles, 6.5 and 12 for the half marathon, and 1.5 miles, and I guess it would be about 3.5 miles for the 8K. And then the water station 2 is for the half marathon only. It's up past the fun little hill. And so it's a nice prize at the top, and that one will be covered by green moose fuel. So they'll have their moose fuel out there. If you guys haven't tried that before, it's really tasty. It's a gel consistency, but it's made from avocado. And so they'll be out there and they'll have drinks and gels. And that is mile 4, 4.3, 9, and 9.3 on the half marathon course. And there's going to be Gatorade, water, and then energy gels at those. So if you like something else for yourself, a bar or banana or, whatever it might be that really gets you going, feel free to carry it yourself. These are going to be pretty simple water stations, just because we don't want to do any unpackaged food yet. So yeah, but they'll be good.
Awesome. Yeah. I feel like a certain flavor, a certain brand, if you have a sensitive stomach, definitely carry your own. Talking about sensitive stomachs, what about restrooms?
Yeah, there's restrooms near each of the water stations. So they'll be utilized multiple times. Well, they're porta-johns, not actual restrooms. And then at the park, the start finish, there are restrooms,
there's tons,
multiple locations there. So if you want your own private restroom, you can walk away from the race hub area. Those, but there's several spots there at the park too.
Cool. Okay, so let's talk about our nonprofit partners for this race.
Yeah.
That's always a fun subject. Who do we have this time?
So we have back Friends of the Ocklawaha Greenway. They're the ones who really keep the preservation of the greenway that you're going to be running on up to date and keep it clean and lovely. And so they are one of our partners. And then we are still contributing to the Henderson County Parks Flood Fund. There's a section of the greenway that you guys won't go on, but it pretty much stays flooded most of the year. And so they need to do some work on it. They're raising funds to be able to fix that section so that it's usable by the public. And so we've been accepting donations for them. And then sort of late in the game, but not too late to mention, we have IC Imagine. They are a charter school and they are coming to help out with some volunteers. And we are contributing money to their mountain bike and their cross country teams that they have for youth sports at their school.
Awesome. Those are all great causes and will really help our community in different areas. So that's awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're almost wrapped up here. I think we've covered everything about the race. But I did have a quick question for you. So the Appalachian Trilogy that we mentioned, the medals and getting those at the awards ceremony, as runners are making their plans for 2022, what can they expect for it?
Oh, yeah. We haven't really publicly released this information yet. So this will be the first time, but I think it's worth mentioning. So the trilogy this past year was 3 half marathons. You had to do all 3 to get the medal. Next year, we are going to have 4 half marathons, but you only have to do 3 of the 4. So you can pick one that you don't want to do. We hope you do all of them, of course, but if there's one that just doesn't fit with your schedule or whatever, you can skip one of them and still get our second annual Appalachian Trilogy medal that we make for next year. And those races are the Asheville Marathon and half. So you'd have to do the half. And that's back at Biltmore. We just opened registration for that yesterday. And there's 2 half marathons there. There's March 19th and March 20th, a Saturday and a Sunday. So you got 2 options there to do a half. And then we have Jump Off Rock half, and that is May 14th in Hendersonville. And then we're adding a new half marathon next year called RAD Half Marathon, River Arts District half in downtown Asheville and along the Greenway in the River Arts District. And that will be middle of June 12th. And then our last race of the trilogy will be ending up with the Black Bear half again next year. And that will be on October 8th, Saturday, October 8th of 2022. So all you have to do is register for 3 out of the 4, and then you're in the trilogy. So there's not a huge sign up process for this or anything. You basically have to register for 3, and then we'll check that, and then you'll get your medal at Black Bear next year.
Awesome. Okay. Well, I think we have wrapped it up, other than talking about our sponsors for this race, which we so appreciate all of their partnerships.
Yeah, I mean, I can't thank enough Hunter Subaru. They have been a part of so many of our events this past year, all the Henderson County ones. So I just want to put them in the spotlight for a minute because they really are community focused and minded, and we could not have pulled off some of the fun things that we've done this year without their support. And then for Morris Broadband to come in and help us, to launch this 8K event for you guys. we're really excited about it. They're excited. So I want to thank them. And then I just want to mention a couple other folks who we haven't talked about yet. Social Burrow, it's a social media agency, and Frank, who owns it, will be running the half. And
Awesome.
yeah, he's awesome. And so, if you have a small business or even a larger business and you need help with social media, they're great. And then First Bank is amazing in Hendersonville. They have different branches all over Western North Carolina and the Southeast, but they're part of the event this year. Blue Ridge Orthodontics is part of it. Our buddy Wayne Boynton, he is amazing. He's in the 75 plus age group. Is that correct? I just know he wins most of his age group
Yeah.
prizes, and we love Wayne. And so he's a Hendersonville native and he's supporting this event. And then we have Movement Puzzle as well. You'll get something in your goodie bag from them. And then Asheville School. And Asheville School is one of our annual partners. And so they are along for supporting most all of our events throughout the year. So just grateful for them.
All right. Well, that is awesome. We are so grateful that you have made it to the end of the podcast. Thanks for listening. Your event guide will be in your inboxes soon. And we just can't wait to see you run on Sunday, October 9th at the Black Bear Half Marathon and 8K.
I think you mean Saturday.
Did I say Sunday?
Yes. We don't want anybody showing up on Sunday.
Don't show up on Sunday. Come Saturday, October 9th. Pay attention to the date. It's October 9th.
Okay. Thanks, Allison.
Thanks.